Today, we are going to dive deep into the two ways to achieve responsiveness using Flutter on different screens. As you can see here, even if your app works as expected on iPhone 11, it might cause an overflow error on Nexus 5 because the screen size is smaller than iPhone 11. In my previous video, I talked about solving this problem using expanded widget, and in this video, we are going to talk about a couple of different ways you can solve this and which method to use for what scenarios. I will also do a little bit of coding so that you can see a live example on how to solve this problem. So there are two ways to solve the responsiveness issue. We could use the flexible widget or the expanded widget. Both these widgets are tightly coupled to row widget and column widget in Flutter. That is, they have to be a direct child of either column or row widget. Just so that you know, column or row have a base class called flex. So yeah, these can be used with a flex widget too. So how do they work? So both flexible and expanded widgets take over the dimension of a child along the main axis of either the column or row. This is really important. It only takes over the dimensions along the main axis. The cross axis of the child is not affected. As you can see here, for the column, the main axis is vertical, and for the row, the main axis is horizontal. So if you see a flexible or expanded widget in a column, they will take over the dimension of the child vertically. That means, let's say you have a column, and column has a container, and if you wrap the container with the flexible or expanded, the flexible or expanded will take over the dimension of the wrapped container. I can show you an example here. Okay, so this is a really basic app. It's a scaffold. Scaffold has a child column. The column has a container, blue container of 600 pixels height. And as you can see, that's the main axis is vertical for a column. So here's the code, really basic. Scaffold, column. It has a container. It's a light blue container. The height is 600. So because it's a column, if you wrap this around flexible or expanded, then the height gets controlled by those widgets. Let me show an example. Really basic example. Let's copy this. Let's create another one similar, and let's make it green. So what we have is we've added another container, which is green, and we gave it a height of 600 pixels. So this is going to overflow because the iPhone 11 Pro has a height of around 800 pixels. So if I save this, I'm going to get an error saying that, oh, you know what, it's overflowing. You gave it, your app has 1200 pixels of height, but the only available real estate along the main axis is 800, right? So you can see here, like the black and yellow stripes means it has overflowed by more than it can show. So how do you solve this? So as I said, there is flexible and expanded. So I'm going to start with flexible, and flexible has two types of fits. Okay, so you can give a fit parameter to a flexible. So let's start with the default ones. Okay, so let's wrap this with flexible. So the fit is the loose. That's the default. That's the default one, right? So just format document so it looks a little beautiful. So you can see here, it's a flex fit loose, and so what it is supposed to do is it is supposed to take the minimum available space between either 600 or lesser. So it's telling flexible is going to either take up 600 if it is available, or it'll take lesser than that. If more than 600 pixels of space is available, then it'll stop at 600. But if it's not, it'll take whatever is available, right? So we gave it 600, and since we already have a 600 pixels of the blue container, so I guess there's around like 300 pixels available. So the green container is going to be 300. The 600 is coming from, like here, let's just give it 300. Right, so it's going to take 300 because that's what is available. But now, let's say that, let's give it 150, right? So we know that there's 300 pixels available. After the 600 pixels of the light blue, there is 300 more pixels available on iPhone 11. So when you give it 150, flexible with flexfit.loose will try to fill 150 if it is available, but not more than that. As you can see here, again, like it's not 300. Let's just not an important thing, but yeah. So as you can see, it's 150, right? Because flexfit loose will take up, is supposed to take up the height of the child container, but if it's not available, then it'll take less than that. But it'll never take more than the height of the container. So that's the maximum when you give flexfit.loose, right? But now let's check out flexfit.tight. Now flexfit.tight will not consider, it'll completely disregard the height. When you say flexfit.tight, flexible is going to take the whole control over the height. It's not going to listen to its child container saying that, hey, you know what, I can only be max 150. It's not saying that. When you give flexfit.tight, it's saying expand as much as possible, whatever is available. Okay, so when you give flexfit.tight, it just takes up everything. Doesn't matter. For example, let's say we give we reduce the blue container by 300, right? So it's just going to take over the whole thing. Doesn't matter, right? So I guess right now these numbers don't matter, but anyway, I mean the numbers in the text. So yeah. Now, so that's how it works. There's flexfit.loose and flexfit.tight. So the flexfit.loose will take over as much as the child container's height, but if it's not available, then you'll take whatever is available, less than the specified height. But if it's flexfit.tight, flexible will completely disregard the height of the container and take over whatever is available. Now, what about expanded? So flexible with flexfit.tight fit isn't expanded. It's just a shorthand for it, right? So if I just like make this expanded and then just remove this, it's the same thing. Doesn't matter. It'll take up whatever is available, right? Expanded, it's supposed to expand as much as possible. Do not care about the dimension of the container along the main axis, and then just take over. That's how it's supposed to work. So yeah, so those are the two ways you can fix the responsiveness, right? For example, let's say you can use 900 pixels or 800 pixels on an iPhone 11 Pro, but once you go to Nexus 5, you want it to adapt to the screen, right? So then you can use flexible with flexfit.loose, or you can use expanded. So which one do you want to use in what scenarios? Most of the time, you might just want to use expanded, right? Like just fill up the space. But if you have a case where you want it to expand, but not more than some maybe 200 or 250 pixels, then use flexible with flexfit.loose. You might want to do that for a lot of reasons. A couple of reasons I can think of are legal reasons. Sometimes you're using third-party logos, and they might say, hey, this cannot be more than 250 pixels, right? Then maybe you can use flexible with flexfit.loose. Maybe for better UI, you don't want to increase the size of a, like a child widget by more than 250, and then you can use flexible with flexfit.loose. Yeah, so that's how we solve the problem. Let me know what you guys think. If you have any questions, feel free to comment, and then if you have any feedback, please comment or shoot me a message. I'll be more than happy to work on them or upload more videos. Thank you guys.